Good day everyone! The researchers would like to present to you our research study entitled Utilization of Water Hyacinth for Phytoremediation of Nitrogen-Contaminated Water. I would like to present to you our research team. De Guzman Mar Aljon, Esguerra Thomas Ivan, Reyes James Frederick, Sobredo Mar Lawrence, Dais Hannah Lizette, De Leon Justine, and Licuanan Juliana Marie. In recent days, COVID-19 pandemic enables us to be more hygienic to make the virus less likely to spread. Water is one of the most important needs in our life, especially now that there is a pandemic. This is one of our necessities to disinfect us physically. Groundwater quality is decreasing day by day due to the rapid urbanization and fast industrial growth. So, as our research will have a great contribution to the water quality in the bodies of water.
Water has become a very important commodity. It can be found in the oceans, in the atmosphere, and even within the lands. The real problem is that domestic and industrial effluents, such as runoffs from farms, sewage from cities, and wastewater from factories can flow into bodies of water. The overall effect is that this practice destroys balance in nature. In response to this, humans constructed water treatment facilities to reduce the pollution and make the water usable. Conventional water treatment facilities that are machine-powered requires electricity and generally need maintenance, but they still require human labor. In the COVID-19 pandemic, person-to-person contact is being avoided to make the virus less likely to spread. According to our research, phytoremediation uses plants on either land or water to reduce pollutants. They do not require electricity, machines, or maintenance as much as conventional water treatment does, and thus they are the better option for water treatment. Water hyacinths are considered troublesome as they grow very fast, block the sunlight from reaching underwater, they prevent animals from reaching the surface, and they consume some substances and nutrients that underwater organisms need. If water hyacinths were to be utilized for phytoremediation, they can absorb even their pollutants of wastewater. Minimal reproductive requirements as well as being a floating plant allows it to spread easily in bodies of water, thus making them suitable for large-scale water treatment. Harvesting them once polluted may also help reduce their invasive effects.
Phytoremediation is a more sustainable option for wastewater management. It requires less manpower and follows a more natural method using plant types to clean water and soil pollutants as stated in Times of India 2020. Phytoremediation decreases person-to-person contact that stall the spread of COVID-19. Hence, phytoremediation is cost-efficient and environment-friendly.
My name is James Reyes and I will be presenting the objective of this study and the statement of the problem. The goal of this research is to observe and scrutinize the usage of water hyacinths phytoremediation capabilities in such a way that it would be acceptable for improvement of water quality in nitrogen-contaminated waters through a simple yet practical simulation. The study aims to ascertain the viability of utilizing water hyacinths in phytoremediation of nitrogen-contaminated water by analyzing its effects to the water quality. In addition to that, the researchers would also like to introduce the efficiency and advantages of phytoremediation for treatment of water and its possible adaptation for large-scale water treatment. And with that, the researchers have come up with the following questions that this research seeks to answer. Do water hyacinths have an effect in the parameters which compose of dissolved oxygen and nitrogen content? How effective are water hyacinths in phytoremediation of different kinds of nitrogen-contaminated wastewater? These two are industrial and domestic type effluents. And lastly, can the nitrogen reduction rate of water hyacinths contribute for its acceptance as an actual phytoremediation agent for treatment of wastewaters?
Due to the pandemic outbreak, many people had difficulty adjusting to the new normal situation we all have. One of those affected are the workers or personals because they do not have enough equipment to clean the wastewater now that there's a pandemic. New sets of protocols are now implemented. Definitely, the wastewater are now neglected. The researchers believe that this study would have a big contribution on the fields and other wastewater, whether it is domestic or industrial wastewater. The utilization of water hyacinth in phytoremediation could help lessen the burden for the workers and other personnels. Additionally, this will help lessen the contact of human to human. However, these water hyacinths may accumulate the pollutants, therefore, the pollutants are still in the environment. Significantly, these macrophytes are free-floating and it can be easily harvested. Water hyacinths are fast-growing, which means that it is no longer needed to have larger quantities of these macrophytes. Once they have already absorbed a lot of nitrogen, it can be easily harvested to minimize the pollutants in our environment.
Good day everyone, I'm Aljon de Guzman and I will discuss the scope and limitations. The study focuses on the feasibility of utilizing the ability of water hyacinth to reduce nitrogen content of wastewater through its phytoremediation capabilities. Phytoremediation is a process that uses plants to reduce pollutants. The hazards that might be encountered are exposure to nitrogen content, certain pollutants and microorganisms while procuring the effluents. Limitations include the possibility of the device to malfunction and the risk of getting wrong parameter measurements.
The materials that are needed for this research are the miniature phytoremediation simulation setup, which is made up of 2 7-gallon aquariums with nitrogen-polluted water, and the materials needed for the parameters, which includes dissolved oxygen meter and nitrogen test kit. The primary specimen for the research is the water hyacinth. The research would be needing fish tanks, water hyacinths, and effluents. Industrial and domestic origin will be used. 3.5 gallons are needed for each type of effluent. The sources of these effluents are a canal in Caloocan for domestic wastewater and the river water from the Tulyahan River near Inbanson Paper Industrial Corporation in Marolas, Valenzuela. Since procuring the effluents poses a risk of chemical and pollutant exposure, the researchers must use personal protective equipment such as latex gloves, face masks, and face shields. Data for the parameters will be collected using DO meter and nitrogen test kits. The first step is the preparation of the phytoremediation setup of the research. Is to set up 2 7-gallon fish tanks in a certain location where it would remain stationary and unaffected by major external conditions, preferably in an indoor garden. Next is put the polluted water in the tanks. Place about 3.5 gallons of industrial effluents per 1 tank, and place about 3.5 gallons of domestic effluents in other tank.
In order for the experiment to succeed, live water hyacinths must be used and they must not be withered. Since these plants are free-floating macrophytes, their roots do not need to be attached to soil. Dissolved oxygen is water quality measure and is needed for aquatic organism to survive. Total nitrogen content is the amount of ammonia, nitrate, and nitrite contents. Phytoremediation efficiency of water hyacinths should be monitored using the data. The researchers will graph the measurements of the parameters with the timeline to see how efficient water hyacinth is for phytoremediation.
The total amount we can possibly spend is 11,550, and it consists of items 7-gallon of aquarium, portable dissolved oxygen meter, nitrogen test kit, and water hyacinths.